It's funny how some of the biggest problems, like, say, a country's mounting waste and crippling import costs, could actually be hiding its most brilliant solutions. Well, that's exactly the story we're going to dive in today. It's a fascinating look at how a new way of scientific innovation in Egypt is turning huge national challenges into just incredible opportunities. So let's get into it. So here's our roadmap. First, we'll unpack the two big challenges that really put Egypt in a tough spot. Then, we're going to see how a total shift in the purpose of research became the key to unlocking some amazing new products. After that, we'll get into why industry partnerships are the real secret sauce here. And finally, we'll zoom out and see how this all plugs into a bold vision for the entire nation's future. All right, let's jump right into Section 1. The dual challenge. Because really, to understand just how brilliant the solution is, you first have to get a feel for the scale of the problem. We're talking about two massive hurdles that were putting a major squeeze on both the Egyptian economy and its environment. And this, right here, brings us to the central question that drives this whole story. It's a powerful one, so think about it for a second. What if a country's waste could actually become its wealth? Now, this isn't just some hypothetical question, it's the very idea that sparked the revolution we're about to see. So here's the problem in a nutshell. On one hand, you've got Egypt spending a fortune on expensive imported materials. On the other hand, it's dealing with a growing mountain of hazardous waste from factories and farms. And the thing that connected these two? A third problem. A huge historical gap between what scientists were researching in labs and what industries actually needed in the real world. This quote from Dr. Joceline Salib of the Chemical Industries Research Institute, wow, it just says it all. It perfectly captures the old mindset they're trying to destroy. The goal is no longer just research for the sake of a thesis that collects dust on a shelf. It's got to be about creating a real, tangible impact. So how do you fight that old way of thinking? Well, that brings us right to Section 2, Research Redefined. This is where we meet the heroes of our story, the Chemical Industries Research Institute, and we get to explore their pretty radical new mission. They call it research with purpose, and it's a complete 180 from the old way. Instead of just chasing purely academic goals, the focus is now laser sharp on solving those urgent national problems. The import dependency and the waste, and turning science into actual measurable economic value for the country. And what I love here is just how practical their strategy is. It's not some vague mission statement. It's a clear 4-step plan. Step 1, figure out what critical materials are being imported. Step 2, innovate ways to make them locally. Step 3, actually create those raw materials industries need. And Step 4, and this is the absolute game changer, actively build a bridge between the lab and the factory floor. Okay, now we get to the really exciting part. Innovations unlocked. This is where the magic happens. This is where we see what it looks like when you turn what was once considered total trash into actual treasure. So, remember that waste problem we talked about? Let's get specific. We're talking about harmful byproducts from the leather industry, leftover paper materials, and all sorts of agricultural waste. For years, this stuff was just a dangerous and expensive headache to get rid of. But with this new approach, the Institute developed this, it's a surprisingly elegant transformation process. It's a simple but absolutely brilliant 3-step flow. You collect the waste, you apply some specialized chemical and polymer treatments, and then voila, you have completely new, incredibly valuable materials. And this just shows you the before and after so clearly. On one side, you have this harmful, expensive waste. On the other, game-changing products. For example, they're creating stuff like fire-retardant cardboard by treating leather and paper waste. And by treating agricultural waste, they're making low-cost wood plastic composites. They're solving a disposal problem and creating a cheaper building material all at once. It's amazing. But wait, it doesn't stop there. This new way of thinking has just unlocked a whole spectrum of other innovations. They've developed advanced polymers that can literally purify polluted water. They've created biocompatible membranes that are safe enough for medical use inside the human body. We're talking heart stents here. They've even started making essential materials for the pharmaceutical industry, again, cutting down on those expensive imports. Okay, so a brilliant idea in a lab is one thing, right? But actually getting it out into the real world, that's a whole different ballgame. And that takes us to Section 4, the power of partnership. This is all about taking these incredible innovations from the lab and putting them right onto the factory floor. And the best example of this in action is the partnership protocol they signed with Kachepi Paints, which is a major Egyptian company. This collaboration has basically become the gold standard, the playbook for how to successfully connect research with industry.
Dr. Salib herself describes it just perfectly. She calls it a win-win situation. And that's the key. It's not a one-way street. Both sides benefit immensely. The research institute gets to test its ideas in the real world, and the company gets access to cutting-edge science and helps train its next generation of talent.
Let's just break down that win-win for a second. So for industry, you get access to top-tier R&D without having to build it yourself. You get a pipeline of highly skilled talent, and you get quality-tested local materials to replace those pricey imports. And for the researchers, their work gets proven in the real world, and they get to see a direct positive impact on their country's economy. It creates this amazing, self-sustaining cycle of innovation.
So, all of this amazing work leads us right to our final section, a vision for the future. Because this isn't just a collection of clever projects, it's a whole movement that aligns perfectly with Egypt's bigger national strategy. In fact, this work is an explicit and really key part of Egypt Vision 3030. That's the country's huge, long-term plan for sustainable development and economic growth. So this isn't some rogue side project. It's plugged right into the nation's master plan, which gives it a profound sense of purpose. And this last quote from Dr. Salib really feels like a powerful call to action. She's saying that, hey, just as the research world is taking these huge steps towards industry, she's hoping more and more companies will reach out and extend their hands in return to build on successes like the one with Capchi Paints. It's basically an open invitation to all of Egyptian industry. Which leaves us with this final thought to chew on. Just by changing their perspective, these researchers found incredible value in things that literally everyone else was just throwing away. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What is the next great innovation that's hiding in plain sight, just waiting for someone to look at an old problem in a brand new way?